over a mile. Via Sistina looking to follow up that Pretty Polly success, sent off even money favourites.
And they're off, racing away. 1 mile the journey for the Tattersalls Found the Stakes. It's Group 1 for the fillies and mares, a never-ending story in the dark blue jacket was well away. Together with Astral Bow, now clearly goes on. Astral Bow under Shane Kelly will lead them after the end of the opening furlong from Never-Ending Story near side last year's winner Prosperous Voyage. Behind those, blue jacket with the red cap with the noseband is Remarque. Over toward the far side is Random Harvest in the maroon silks. Further back to Nashwa in the dark green. Dark blue pink there for Via Sistina, and at the back is Coppice as they continue up the home straight, and they'll soon be the halfway. Astral Bow leading from Prosperous Voyage. Never-Ending Story goes along in 3rd position. Then came Remarque. To the outside is Random Harvest. Then Via Sistina in front of Nashwa, and Coppice is at the rear of the field. They're racing now down towards the final 3.5 furlongs. Astral Bow leads narrowly from Prosperous Voyage towards the near side. Remarque is in behind those. Via Sistina moving up with menace towards the outside of Random Harvest. Then came Never-Ending Story. Coppice behind that was and then Nashwa, who's trying to find a way through. They're racing now down inside the final quarter mile. Astral Bow about to be joined by the nose-banded Remarque. Nashwa coming through towards the inside, looks a major player. Via Sistina's under pressure. Coppice out wider inside the final furlong, and Nashwa has strode on now. It's Nashwa by a good few lengths to Remarque. Then came Via Sistina and Astral Bow heading up towards the line. Nashwa gets right away to win the Falmouth Stakes impressively. Nashwa the winner from Remarque, Via Sistina 3rd. Astral Bow is back in 4th and Coppice in 5th.
That's the old Nashwa we know and love. Wins the Falmouth Stakes Group 1 at 4-1 for Hollie, Doyle and John and Thady Gosden. 2nd was Remarque, 11-2, and only 3rd was Via Sistina, the even money favourite. She's been held up and travelled through this like a dream, has Nashwa under Hollie Doyle, and as soon as the gaps deigned to open up, it did look slightly unlikely at one stage. Well, she's just catapulted her way through them and is driven clear for a very emphatic and decisive success in Group 1 company. Drop back to a mile has clearly been the secret to this, and she even clocked a 10.3 second furlong, so sectionals very much backing up this visual display. Via Sistina back in 3rd, a little bit disappointing, perhaps needs slightly further, and that was a quick reappearance after her Pretty Polly success, but no doubting the best filly today. That's what
Nashwa has just put up a brilliant performance to win the Group 1 Falmouth Stakes. One of her trainers is John Gosden with his son Thady. Many congratulations, that was superb. Back to the old Nashwa and a bit more.
Yeah, look, she's had a difficult spring. She didn't come to herself. We went over to France and, you know, it helped her by going there, racing, coming back. But she needed racing. She was a little too keen from the gates, over-raced, upsides a filly who got blinkers on the other day and paid the price at the other end, had the race won and then got caught late by a very nice filly, but got beaten half a length there. And so, but we knew she was right, and I was very concerned about this gap from the Newcastle race all the way to Goodwood, and I thought this is not right for her. She needs to race this filly. And so I phoned up Thady, and I tell you, Mr. Ahmad Al-Sagar was brilliant. And I said, I'd like to supplement this filly. And he said, you believe that's right? I said, yes. Then he said, do it. So he's very trusting. But she needed to race here. The mile's no problem. She's powerful filly with speed. And it'll set her up nicely with the Nassau, but it just happens to be a lovely Group 1 on the way.
I'm interested that you're sticking to the Nassau plan. I was half wondering whether you might recalibrate and go down to a mile, because that performance was so dominant today.
Yeah. There was no problem with putting in a race like the QE2 at the end of the year. That'd be perfect for her, but I'd like to stay with the Nassau at the moment. She's got a lot of tactical speed and tremendous acceleration, and the Nassau, she won it last year. It's a very important race, so we'd like to go for that.
And those tactics seem to suit her very much. She's a lot less gassy than she had been in her previous races.
Well, she needed racing. In the end, she needed racing. You can keep doing everything you like at home, but there's nothing like to bring them on, to get them racing, and that's why we put this race in rather than waiting for the Nassau.
Okay, well, many congratulations. Well done.
Thank you.
We're rushing on to the next race already at Newmarket, but we need to reflect with Hollie Doyle. A brilliant win in the Group 1 Falmouth Stakes with Nashwa. That's back like the old Nashwa, isn't it?
Yeah, it's hugely satisfying for the whole team, really. I mean, I don't think she really went anywhere. I think it was just simply she's grown, she's big, burly, and she's just taken those 2 runs to kind of come to where she needs to be, really.
And the way that you rode her, it seemed to really suit her in these circumstances.
Yeah, it did. There was plenty of pace on, and I just threw the reins at her and rode her where she landed, and she settled beautifully. And the further I was going, the better. Between the 3 and the 2, we congregated towards that stand side, so I kind of had to take the gap when I had to really, but luckily when you've got that much horse underneath you, it becomes fairly easy.
I mean, she really has won and then some, hasn't she?
She has. She's destroyed them, and I just didn't know what to expect really. I've always known she's got enough boot for the mile. It was just when push comes to shove, how will she quicken? But she seemed to be even more effective today, didn't she?
She really did, but you'd be quite happy to go back up for 10 for the Nassau. That's what John's saying, he's sticking to that plan?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, she won it last year. She settles, you can ride her anywhere. I mean, I dropped her right out that day, and she's very straightforward.
But something like the QE2 maybe at the end of the season might be after a performance like that?
Yeah, that looks a really nice opportunity now. We're proven at the mile, and Mr. Gosden did mention that. So it's a long season ahead, but we'll see.
And you said it was very satisfying. What's your feel? It's because of how much you rate the horse and how much she's basically done for your career. Is that why you're so pleased?
Yeah, exactly. And how much she's done for me, and how much faith Imad's put in me, and also he took the risk to keep her in training. And obviously the first 2 runs were a bit like, oh no, what have we done here? But thankfully she's back on track, and you know, she's just a filly that might come good mid to back end of the year.
Okay, well, it was great to see her back, and as you say, she probably never went away. Many congratulations. Well done, Hollie.
Thank you, Lydia.
Cheers.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks
Cheers.
for coming.
The 410